All right. Um, yeah. So I'm back. The last stream was on Friday. Now it is Sunday. I got a little bit. I caught a cold essentially, and it's a little bit hard to speak right now. But nonetheless, I still wanted to stream and show the progress that I've made in these 2 days. I spent a few hours yesterday working on this entire initiative, so I wanted to show you what I have right now. And I'll need to stop real quick before I need to resize my screen. I forgot to do that. Alright, screen resized and it froze, so I'll need to real quick refresh the capture. Okay, but I'll also need to readjust it a little bit. Like that. Okay. Okay. So now you should be able to see it. Alright, cool. So that's that. The camera is on its place. Okay, so I like that. So what I have is I finally finished the structure. There were a lot of hiccups, but I was able to finish it. So now I have API web. Well, I didn't do anything, right? I was just prompting things to AI. That's what I did. Then I have it already on GitHub, right? So anyone can open it and see the progress for yourself. I'll try to keep everything updated on a daily basis because, well, I'm working on it on a daily basis, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. I still haven't decided on the name. Everything is just kind of generic at this point. Like even if you open package.json and just a monorepo, I don't know how to call this project yet. And that's not what I wanna focus on right now, which is really interesting because before that I would definitely jump first into naming a project. And nowadays it is that the mentality completely shifted. So then I also have a few packages here. The main ones are DB, shared, and UI. Well, DB is just a Prisma package, essentially with Prisma schema. I didn't write any of those. I don't expect to modify any of those. I don't even have the plugin installed for Prisma because there are a number of things that influenced it. Is that first of all, I was reinstalling my Mac OS, and the second thing is that I was primarily using Cursor in the past, and recently I switched to Visual Studio Code because I figured out is that um, in pair um, with Cloud Code, there is no actual reason for me to continue using Cursor, especially with all the problems that I had with them. The problems were primarily like not really problems. I had a lot of questions about the usage. Like for example, on some of the requests, they were claiming that I was using millions of tokens, and I was like, no, that's definitely not possible because my prompts are quite short, and they are saying in their logs is that I was using millions of tokens, which isn't possible, and they billed me for it, which leads me to believe that there is some fishy business going on. But anyway, maybe that was a malfunction or something like that, but I don't want to be dealing with those malfunctions. So that's why I gotta use Cloud Code nowadays along with the Cloud Max subscription, because I feel like that's like um the most cost efficient solution right now. So besides the structure for the repository, which I'm not gonna even touch at this point, I would like to never touch it ever. But what I would like to touch is skills. So regarding skills, I have a number of skills, but primarily the entry points are ship feature and the quick fix. That one as well, right? So the quick fix is really short; it's just 40 lines, and I try to have all of those skills cost efficient, because what I figured is that if you're creating a sub agent inside of your main agent, and the skill is like hundreds or two hundreds of lines, right? That's gonna eat a lot of the context. Um, I know there is a tool called Tokenizer that I recently stumbled upon on one of the streams. Um, and that's not official tool, right? But if we take, for example, this prompt for 50 lines, it is 900 tokens, right? And that's completely fine with me. We can allocate this amount of tokens, right? But I just started a chat here in Claude, and if we take a look at the context, we can see that already, without me even saying anything, it's already using 17,000 tokens, right? And the reason behind that is because all the skills are loaded by default, right? Which means that if I have all these skills for like hundreds or 200 lines of code, it's gonna eat a lot of context without me even saying anything in the chat. I hope that it makes sense, because there is a part that is reserved for compacting, right? Which is how much? Okay, so it is 33,000 tokens, right? So that's reserved for auto compacting. Free space, I have 95%, which means that before I even say a word, I have 4% of my context. I think it is even like 5% at this point already used. Yeah, it's kind of 5%. And I cannot, I cannot be using Cloud Code at this point, because 5% is 50,000 tokens, right? And I'm on 1 million context model. If I had 200,000 tokens model, then that would have been 25% out of the bat just for loading all the skills. And so memory files are definitely great. Shared one, 145 tokens. I'm not even aware of what does it mean. I don't have anything in here. Maybe it means like that folder. Yeah, I bet it is. Okay, well, that's fine. Again, there was also a problem that it was loading a lot of MCP tools like Cloud Chrome. So I removed that as well, because I didn't need that, and I think it is just garbage at this point. I strongly believe that they can improve, but it's really slow. It's much better with Agent Browser that I have here, a skill that was uh, it's kind of interesting, because Agent Browser, I think I installed the wrong one actually. Let's check. Skill. Oh, actually, Agent Browser, right? How can I search for Agent Browser and find dog food? This is really weird. But yeah, I think I installed the right one. Yeah, they probably changed the instructions, I guess. Hmm. I remember I had this skill in another project of mine, like on LinkedIn, for example, right? Here we go. Yeah, you see, like, have a skill here, and then there are some templates. there are references for authentication, for commands. How is that handled right now? I'm kind of curious. And is it the same skill? I bet it isn't. Let me check. So, skill. It's kind of looking the same though. Can I check like license? Yeah, there is no license. Yeah, but there are no files anymore. There's just one file for skills, and I don't see any references as well. Okay, so oh, I see. So it would call. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. It is how it works. So if I do like that, agent browser skills get core, it means it will get like the core information for this skill. That's interesting. Okay, I like that. Because before that, I was like committing a lot of files. You can see like it's like more than 10 files at this point just for one skill, which didn't make sense at all. So I'm glad they changed that. But and yeah, I mean, it still looks like the same skill. Anyway, long story short, I've built a lot of these skills. All of them are cost efficient with caveman guarding all the communication to avoid spending tokens on what is not needed. Yeah, let me open the ship feature. So essentially how it works, and I will show it in a second, but it is kind of like starting with business analyst who is preparing the docs requirements file, then solutions architect who is preparing the architecture file. Then there's UX designer. What's that? Okay. UX designer who is preparing the wireframes. Then there's UI designer who is preparing the design. But it's not just .md file. There is also um, oh, okay, it's here. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, so it is also preparing docs design variants as well. And once it finalizes the variants, I believe it will prepare the markdown files. Yeah, the wireframes. Wait, no, hold up, no, that's not that. Where's the output? Yeah, here it will output the routes. Well, it's more like pages, but for mobile it can be screens, so I guess it's logical to call them routes. Anyway, back to ship feature, right? So UI designer, then all of that information that was created as part of these four skills are fed into backend developer who is implementing all the backend requirements, backend architecture. I guess what's missing is actually I'll start creating issues. Oh, I don't have issues. Okay, I'll add a later.md, I guess. So what is missing is ERD mapping skill. Yeah, because once the requirements are created, one specific skill needs to go through the entire architecture and understand the mappings, right? Then backend developer starts developing, then front-end developer creates UI basically based off the UX designer and UI designer, and then backend tester. Well, backend developer and front-end developer, they also test the ACs from business analyst, and then backend tester is covering everything with unit tests, and front-end tester covering everything with end-to-end tests. Then there is review all skill. That specific skill is running 4 parallel agents for architecture, requirements, rules, and security review. And for each step, there is an update step. So if, for example, business analyst fails to gather all the requirements, or well, it gathers all the requirements, but it missed something before, solutions architect can point those things inside of the requirements gaps file. I think, I don't remember. And then it calls the update requirements skill. Right. So, and then it reruns solutions architect essentially once the updates were done. That's that. And then once the review of the final skill passes, and again, if it fails, it goes back to backend and frontend developer. Once it passes, I'm led to believe that it will triage review everything. I don't see it inside of this skill, which is weird. Triage review, is it even used? Oh, wait, hold up. Triage review runs review on, classifies each finding as a code fix. I see. While we are at it, can you tell me where is triage review skill is used? Okay. So that's that. And then this was one skill I wasn't aware of actually. How is it used? Like the AI asked me, do you want to create it? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. But I never actually figured out why I even need that. So all these skills make sense. Quick fix is just kind of like chip feature, but for small changes, for small cosmetic changes or just bugs. Review skills make sense. Solutions architect, this one I don't understand. And then update skills and UX. So yeah, all of them make sense except the triage review. I don't understand for now. Okay, so hope everyone can see it. The triage review skill is only referenced by its own definition file. No other skill invokes it. It's invoked manually by the user via its triggers. For the skill description, tries the reviews. The bridge between the review all, which produces findings, and the update skills, which applies spec changes from changes scratch batch. Orchestrates review but does not chain into triage review. That step is left to the user. If I am to understand, or actually inject this skill triage review inside of ship feature skill, how that should be done? Is that even possible? Does it even make sense? Because I myself, I don't want to be running any skills besides ship feature or quick fix skill. All right. And again, we have some security issues here for this specific skill. And the reason behind that, I've talked with people who understand what this means, because apparently I don't. And the reason behind that is because in agent browser, any skill can call that and access any web page, right? So if you fully allow that skill, like I did, I have in my settings local JSON somewhere here. I somewhere allowed it, right? So yeah, here I fully allow. Oh wait, it's to load the skill, but I'm not sure if I allowed commands. I did not because I haven't used it, but I usually allow it. So if you do that, then it will be able to access any page and well do anything on this page, which means like which means that you can like open even this page that they have open right now and register or create an account. And then once you created the account, you can even, as an AI agent, you can even rent. Well, you don't have money, right? But let's imagine that there are like free hosting somewhere where it doesn't require credit cards. They can just move themselves to this hosting basically, right? With the only problem being is that, well, they can probably generate the token, like Cloud Code token, but I don't think that Cloud Code allows the AI agent to generate a token. So we are safe for now. Okay, so concrete change. Can you more clearly explain why this skill is even needed? Why cannot I just have review all as the final step? Why do I even need triage review? Interesting, okay. So, we already have one file modified. Ah, yeah, right. That's that file. Actually, I have. Okay. Okay, replace it with. Okay, then replace review all with triage review inside of the ship features skill. And I guess it might also be needed inside of the bug fixes skill. As the last thing, check whether the entire pipeline can run um, completely by itself once I answer all the business analyst questions. Can it produce the final result without me being involved in the process once I define the requirements with business analyst? Okay, and then also I have stickies here, and the reason I'm using them is because I have this thing here which I copy paste nowadays into every prompt because I don't wanna AI to guess. I want a AI to actually do whatever job I need. And again, I caught a cold, so I kind of, it's hard to speak right now, but we are making progress, and that's what matters to me. Right now, at least. So, and once I finalize those skills, because currently it just, uh, it just fine tuning everything. Actually, I forgot to, actually, never mind. Fine tuning everything, but at some point I need to start like developing whatever I need. Wow, that's just so sweet. Yeah, so and whatever I need is actually here. Let me scale it so it's more readable. Essentially, what I have here is the system that I would like to build. You see, I name myself Alex even in this system, but the thing is that 1 second. The thing is that I want to build a system similar to that one with accent colors. I don't think there will be teal because I'm currently super annoyed with this color. I spent like a year just looking at those colors on Figform, and Figform is the service that I've built. Right? Yeah, a lot went into this service, but I'll be not reminiscing another stream about it. And I just need some way of exporting it, or well, at least like I've generated some wireframes here. You can see. I'm not sure how I can close the chat. I guess I cannot. Like, I don't understand. Oh, like that. Is this public URL? Yeah, anyone can open it. Nice. So anyone free to open it. I guess the token is anyway. Jokes aside, right? I have this system and I want to migrate it to my project. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'll ask the Cloud Design to describe every page to me, and then I'll plug it into the system that I have right now. First of all, I want to start with free content. I guess I'll just name the section as well as free content. Inside of it, I'll have upload and uploading of clips. Well, it's not clips; it's uploading of materials. I want to drop anything here. I want the AI to transcribe the video, which is kind of tricky, but anyway. Transcribe. I want to start first with the X and threads, right? I want to post on X and threads. I want to have it generate the content to start with, to begin with, right? And also LinkedIn would be nice. And then connecting my accounts, and then scheduling all the posts, right? So that's what I want to start with. I even have a schedule here, right? I'm not sure whether any of those buttons will be needed. Let me check. Okay, so there are some questions. Let's answer those first. So what should happen at the end of quick fix? Add full trash review at the end. Add inline mini trash numbered list. Okay, leave as is. How aggressively should I be about removing confirmation gates and side shift features at transquizer after the unavoidable input? Keep all gates, no skill added, 16 prompts per drop down confirmations. Remove the 4 go plan gates inside back and front end developer tester plus shift features 2 level confirmation. Step 2 start, step 4 pre-review. I'll keep all gates for now. I need to see how it works first. Okay. Can the pipeline run autonomously after BA questions? BS. We need to rename it. No, after business analyst, you're still pulled in 10 more times. Here's the full gate list. Okay, I should have read that first actually. Okay, and let's see what changes have it done. So I guess it just kind of changed. Yeah, it just kind of changed the review auto triage review. So that's fine. So let me check. So go gate before writing. This is not needed. Confirmation ship feature step to proceed. Why do I need like that? Okay. Let's remove confirmations from step 2 of ship feature. Let's remove all the confirmations. I mean, not remove, but suppress them essentially. I don't want to be confirming anything. I want the run to be completely flawless so that I'm involved only on steps 2, 5, 8, 10, and 16. So 5, 8, 10, and 16. Do I need to be involved in the solutions architect? No, right? So it's just UX designer. I don't need to stage layout actually. I don't want to be involved in the UX designer step. Only UI designer where I pick. Or maybe, okay, that's fine. I guess we'll leave like that. Oh, I don't need to be involved in 10. I actually meant 8. Okay. So that's that. Smooth. So that I'm involved only in steps. Oops. I should need that one. Okay. Like that. Okay, cool. So that's that. And then okay, let's run it like that. I don't have anything else to say. So I staged the changes. Okay, and yeah, so back to what I was talking about. Um, yeah, here. That is like the first step, and inside of it, there's obviously like LinkedIn as well. What I'm going to add. This is like the easiest to add. Then Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube will be coming later because that is quite complicated. I think for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, I'll use Opus Clip API. I'm not yet sure how. You see, like I would have to request API access. I'm not yet sure if that is even possible for me because I'm a solo developer at this point and I'm developing it for my own reasons, not like commercial. And what they are pitching here is that for commercial needs, it saves a lot of time. So I'm not even sure. Yeah, you see, you would have to subscribe to a business plan. But the thing is that I want to be building like a completely new system, which I would be lucky if that wouldn't be needed, but otherwise I would have to build it and see how it works. What does it mean, 280 ch? What is that? Oh, like characters, I think. Okay, interesting. So that's free content. Then, one second. Develop testable skills currently. Plan and chat and wait for go. And when arc post on an outline before writing, what should they do once the weight is removed? Okay. Stack confirm. Say you are designer when stack additions are needed. It currently invokes which fires its own confirm gain. Separate that to yes, auto confirm. Okay. So after free content, I wanna build the warm outreach. The way it's gonna work is that again I'll connect my accounts LinkedIn, X, Instagram, TikTok, and the thing is that it is going to monitor those systems, and as a result it's gonna see what people are um how's it called, like interacting, I think is the word, interacting with my content. Then it will try to enrich their information based of the name or maybe their title, depending where it got the information from, and draft a DM for them essentially to try my platform, or yeah, something like that. That's the idea with warm outreach. There would be a DM queue, right? So then the last pillar is cold outreach. Well, there's more to that than just cold outreach. There's also advertisement, but I'm not gonna work on that for now because there is no money for me to work on it. Well, not enough money. Let's say like that. Cold outreach is essentially I'll be importing from like Apollo, Clay, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or that platform as well. And then I'll be, well, or maybe it will be automatically scraping all the leads. I'm not yet sure. And then once that is done, it will be presented me with leads and adding them to the sequence. Sequences will also be generated, right? Yeah, but they will be generated based of the information that they have about me and about the project that I'm building, right? So yeah, that is sequences. I can create different amount of sequences. Then once I have a lead, I can add them to specific sequence. Right, you can see. I'm not sure how this currently decided what sequence to add to. Okay, and then I can click on them, get their full profile. The same thing in leads CRM. So I have leads here. I can click on them and get full understanding about them. Those leads are coming from warm outreach and cold outreach, obviously, right? And I can also, and I have inbox, which many systems call Unibox. And inside of here, there would be communication, which happen via email or via any social platform, essentially. Right. They will be all here, so that way I don't have to open these platforms. For me specifically, I have a strong opinion about those social platforms, is that while they are social to the point where you're socializing with your friends, right? If you're on a social media and you're like just doom scrolling or anything like that, I feel like that's really bad. Well, unless you're just doing that to kill time while you're actually doing something meaningful, like I did yesterday. I was as I said, I got sick. It was really hard for me to do anything. I started scrolling Instagram, and that's like where my motivation came from to essentially create all those skills that I've shown you before. Um, because most of my reels that I watch are motivational. I started watching them and I just kind of open it on the right side, just Instagram on the left side, the terminal, and I was like just chatting with the terminal while watching Instagram, which is kind of funny. But nonetheless, I was able to finalize everything yesterday, including all of those skills. And today I'm ready to go and start working with those, right? So, first things first, I want to introduce the onboarding, and I want to see how is it going to integrate. I hope it integrates well because I haven't tested those skills yet, but that's like the fear of mine. If I start testing, then if I start testing and it doesn't work, then I'll just have no motivation to continue. But while I'm on stream, well, I cannot afford that. I have to continue with it, right? That's the reason I'm doing those streams. It's not primarily to have people watching me or have an audience. Well, that would be nice, but it's more for my accountabilities that I cannot give up if I face some kind of issue. Anyway, so those were changed. Let's just run quickly through them, see what was changed. All right, you know what I forgot is because in cursor I had here AI button that I could have clicked in order to have the commit message generated for me. And I want to actually create a skill. Oops. I want to create a skill that is going to do the same thing for me because I'm so lazy just generating those commit messages. Read skills, rule, and rules in this project. Rules. How did it here? Rules in this project. Maybe it's because of my stuffy nose. I cannot pronounce correctly, but I don't really care. Yeah, but I have to figure out first what fields would go into it. So first of all, I would need, as part of onboarding, I would need to have the first step being about myself, right? Who am I? What? How many years I have of experience? I'm not even sure though if that is gonna be important. I think it's gonna be just about your field where I would put everything related to me, right? And then the rest is gonna be about the business that you're building and the offer, dream outcome, and stuff like that. Who's the ideal customer, right? There should be multiple profiles, I think. Though to start with, I think I'll start with only one. And you can obviously see that this entire initiative was based off the book called $100 million leads. $100 million leads. Right, and that's kind of the three key pillars of this book, right? And I wanted to start doing all three of them, but it's just so complicated with all these platforms that are in the way right now. Like Apollo, you have to click, and stuff like that. Then you need to have a CRM or use spreadsheets, and spreadsheets introduce a new level of complexity because that's what I've been doing right now. I'm working currently. Well, I'm working as a CTO, right? But at the same time, I'm working as a fractional CTO for the same company. Actually, that's funny. But anyway, um, I've been preparing a sales pipeline. Well, I'm working on the sales pipeline right now, using N8N and Agent Browser. What did I say? N8N and Apollo with spreadsheets, and it is just a nightmare. Apollo have their own rate limits. Spreadsheets have their own rate limits, and N8N is just N8N. Until we upgraded our plan to like $85 a month, it was just failing constantly and running out of memory. Because we are processing like thousands of leads. Well, actually tens of thousands of leads, and N8N wasn't able to handle it. Even if you are like splitting it into a batches of 100 leads, it anyway eventually runs out of memory and reboots the entire workspace and disables our workflow, which was pain in the ass, but we were able to figure this out by just upgrading it. Okay, so it read that thing. Now, can you create a skill called commit name? And the skill's purpose is to suggest commit names for the changes that are currently in a Git diff, not the ones that are staged, but for all the changes overall. And be prepared, because the changes could sometimes be like tens of thousands of lines of code, so it needs to be able to read all of them, understand what the change was all about, and create a commit name for it. And then if the change was actually really big and it's hard to explain everything in one commit name, then it should also suggest a description for this commit, not just a commit name. Ask any clarifying questions with answer options. Okay, this would be really helpful, because I don't want to like spend time thinking what the name of this commit is gonna be. Alright, so let's focus on uploading clips page later. For now, just onboarding. All this information should be I don't know. It's up to the system to figure out. I'm here like pretending to be a business like project owner or project owner, right? The person who pays for the project. Yeah. So and onboarding should happen on advance. Set of questions I'm out to figure out with the business analyst. Well, I'll just start talking and then I'll figure this out. But essentially, there's needs to be a step for my information, business information, ideal buyer information, yeah, connecting accounts is nice, but I think it makes more sense to have it on a separate page. So that's what I'm going to do later, though. Yeah, and also I didn't show the domains part. Is that there are domains, you can buy new ones. I'm not sure how is it gonna work. I think the easiest way to accomplish that would be through Cloudflare, though I'm not sure what is the limit for that. Then, well, at this point it would be easier just buying the domains and connecting them. But those kind of white labeling solutions, or well, if you are connecting domains for emails specifically, it is gonna take so much time. So I think it would make sense to have Cloudflare integration, that's for sure. And yeah, the rest is just setting up mailboxes. The problem though is that what I figured out is that it's not just, let's set up a mailbox, right? Mailboxes, they have their own like reputation, right? And this reputation, you cannot fake it, right? You need to have actual conversations going between trusted mailboxes. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna implement that. But fortunately, I'm not gonna work on cold outreach right now. It's more for later. For now, I'll just focus on free content. All right. Hmm. Okay, I guess I'll wait. All right. So, yeah, okay, it's finally finished. Let's see how does it look like. Wow, that's a lot. Make skill instructions being concise. Okay, 40 lines. I can work with that. Okay. So let's try it. Let's try it and see how it works. What file is it trying to read? Commit name skill. That's interesting. And this is taking so much time. I know that other platforms have it optimized. I mean, other AIs or IDs have it optimized because it is not taking longer than like couple seconds. Okay, that works for me. All right, let's commit that. Now let's go back to Claude. Let's start ship feature. And because I haven't used that before, I need to understand what are the inputs. Are there any inputs actually? Okay, there are no any inputs. Okay, so ship feature. It's reading something like wireframes. There are no docs right now. What are you trying to read? Oh, so for ship feature, I should have invoked it with the story description. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I need to add onboarding to this platform. Currently, when you register or when you log in, it should show onboarding, but only one time before you actually complete it. Once you completed it, it should live inside of the settings. Yeah, settings. So onboarding will be kind of like a stepper, with the first step being the information about yourself, primarily your name, your full name, I mean, then your title and information about you. Right. So the next step will be about your business, right? The name of the business, the price range, the dream outcome, the time it takes to get the first result, and then the guarantee, right? Um, the guarantee that what you will get if you don't get this result, essentially, right? So the next step will be about the ideal buyer, right? The ideal buyer is the person who is going to use, like, who is the ideal buyer of your service, essentially, right? You would need to specify titles, you would need to specify company size, industry, location, and signals. Well, signals can be omitted for now. Yeah. And that's it for now. Just 3 steps to begin with. Hey, man. Em, Emre Dickman. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Yo, everything's good. What about you? Okay. So, and just to give a little bit of information, right? I'm currently trying my system that I've built here with the skills in Cloud Code, right? Trying to build the first user story with onboarding wizard, essentially, right? Kind of just beginning the path of building the platform. All right. Oh my god, that's a lot of questions. That's not something I would like to answer actually. But those questions actually make kind of sense. So I'll answer them anyway. So the first one, platform users are anyone essentially. It can be solo founders, it can be agencies or sales teams. Second, um, the reason why this user story is important right now, the onboarding part, is because I need to have the platform know a little bit about me and a little bit about the business that I'm working on, right? Later, this information will be needed on the rest of the pages. For now, it is just the onboarding wizard. Third, the user shouldn't be able to close the onboarding wizard. It is essentially like a gate that they need to fill out before they can start using the platform. And it would show them right where they left off with the ability to go back. And on the third step, you just finish everything, and then these settings will live inside of the settings page. Fourth, they should be able to resume from the step 3 the next session. Fifth, the navigation. They should be capable of they should be able to go back to the previous step to edit their data that they provided. Sixth, completion is when they submitted the step 3 and all their data that they submitted lives now on the settings page, so that's a completion. Seventh, all the fields are required. Eighth, it should be a price range, not a free text. I guess a select or a drop down with the price range would work. Ninth, time to first result should be free text. 10th, ideal buyer fields. Titles should be a list of strings, makes sense. Company size, a drop down, that's for sure. Industry. I think free text to begin with, and location. And location is also a free text. Oh my god. All right. So existing users. 11th, there are currently no existing users. I'm just beginning the entire platform from this specific step. 12th, setting page. Once they edit their onboarding data in settings, it just should do a normal save. And 13th, welcome video account verification team invites are out of this scope. All right. So that's that. Okay. Then, yeah, I think it's just a game of waiting at this point. All right. So we would allow edits. Oh my god. Okay. So now the solutions architect is working. Let's see. I'm not sure if it will have any questions. I'm kind of curious. But the main goal is to have this user story built out. I'm kind of curious first is how much is it gonna take. I'll check on the stream when I started and once I finished. I'm kind of curious. And is it even possible with this set of skills that I've created? But now I wanna fully finish it, and honestly I don't care how is it gonna look like. I know that there are platforms like cal.com, dub.co, right? Those are looking really nice, right? But that's only because there are design teams who are working to make them look nice with all these animated icons, with everything, right? I obviously cannot afford it right now, and also it's kind of freezing right now for some reason. It almost feels like OBS is freezing. It says 70% use CPU, and I'm like, it's hard to believe essentially. Hard to believe that OBS is using 70% of my CPU. I mean, this is crazy. All right, but anyway, we're making some progress, and I forgot. I'll need to have, and I might forget, but I'll need to have all these markdown files inside of the git ignore because I don't want to commit them. Okay, do we have any questions? Also, I want to see how much context is it going to use for just this specific user story. And while it is actually doing its job, I want to do like that, and I want to read the user story that they have here. So title, user onboarding wizard, story is a new platform. User, I want a guided 3-step onboarding to capture my profile. Okay. Acceptance criteria. Yeah, you have a question. What question do you have? Acceptance criteria after registration. Login in the user who has. Oh my god, there's 14 questions from. There are 14 questions from the solution architect. Alright, let's resolve them then. Okay. First, the price range. Exact values are okay to use, the ones that you suggested. Second, company size values are good to use. Third, user's title is a free text. Fourth, step one's name should write to user.name. Correct. Fifth, Bump up this field biofield to be 5000 characters long. Sixth, okay. Seventh, the backend should also reject non-onboarding requests until onboarding is complete. Implicit completion for 8th, implicit completion with onboarding completed at okay. 9th, back navigation. They should be redirected to the dashboard, not to the settings. So a middleware will be needed for that. 10th, layout, let's go with just one page. Or actually, let's go with subroutes. So add like tabs for each subroute on the settings page and the user can go between them. 11th, titles are minimum one entry to satisfy required. That's right. Maximum is 10 entries. Per entry length cap is 250 characters. 12th, just default to maximum 255. 13th, no need for Sentry integration. 14th, apply the same rate limiter to onboarding endpoints. Okay. Ah, shit, where's 13th and 14th? Hold up, that's wrong. Okay, so user title is a free thing. Okay. Somewhere I forgot to say. Oh my god, this is annoying. Let me see. So, bump up this field by a field to be 5000 characters long. How am I gonna know that? Titles minimum one entry to satisfy required. Okay, so titles. Where were titles? It was 11th. Okay, so at least I found that. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, layout. Let's go with subroutes. So add tabs. Okay. Layout was 10 actually. Okay. So before that I had back navigation, which was 9. The backend should also reject. It's not like biofield is separate words. What the hell? Gated first front end redirect. And where is it? Biofield. It was 5th. Okay, biofield. Okay, so it was 5th. Did I just skip some of the words? What the hell? I mean, some of the questions. So eighth. Okay, so that was eighth. What about like 5, 6, and 7? Did I just skip those? Oh, I think it wasn't me. I think it was Whisper. Oh wait, hold up. So front and redirect is the pressure. I think that is like. It's like 7, 8. And then 6 awk. And that's it. Alright. So that's that. Okay, I'll close it for now. Not needed because. Okay. So it is here. Also need a deployment step. I just figured this out, right? Deployment step is needed. Oh, you know what? I actually have one thing to work on in parallel. What I understood is that, like, if for example I go into DB SRC repositories user settings and I do something like that, it doesn't auto format. That's a problem because I wanna be able to auto format prettier. Okay. There is currently a problem that I have Prettier installed along with ESLint, but and it is working if I run it through terminal. But if I am if I'm working in IDE and I have a Prettier plugin installed, and I change any file, it doesn't work, even though it says that Prettier is enabled and is set as a formatter for this file. It just doesn't work. I think the problem is that because I have a monorepo or something like that. Oh my god. And I just want to see real quick is that prettier. So let's clear that and I do like that. Why it doesn't like don't understand. I never understood why it didn't work. Okay. So wireframing 5 roots. Why does it say Chrome? First, it should render on a clean full page canvas without top bar or navigation links. Second, settings page already exists. You just need to research and see how is it rendered right now. Third, okay. Fourth, uh, okay. Fifth, numbered circles with labels. Sixth, let's go with the single comma separated text input for now. Seventh, let's go with a server-side redirect to settings profile. Come on, how can... Where is second? This is annoying. Second, I said okay. Third, okay. Fourth, okay. Fifth numbered, okay. Diagnosis is root. Config is prettier RC. Re-exporting also TypeScript. The CLI works because no 24 strips types natively, but the IDE pretty extension spawns pretty in a way that doesn't get TS loader support. So it silently fails to let the config and skips formatted fix rename into MJS. Your root is type mono change plus update main exports to match. You lose the config type annotation in the shared file, but the IDE extension will work without any permission setup. Alternative, keep TypeScript and have everyone configure prettier path with a TypeScript loader fragile. Apply the MJS conversion. This is a bummer. And something I didn't want. Didn't want it. Oh, nice. Settings. Okay. So these are the wireframes. Yeah, I'll actually add to later solution architect needs to research what is currently implemented to avoid duplicates. The same for business analysts. All right. My components has this underscore. Well, I guess though it's fine. So regarding MJS, okay, which is kind of weird, but anyway. Again, my CPU is going 50%. I'm not sure what is happening. 60%. Back to 40 now. Not sure. Okay, so down pre-tier now fixed. Let's see. So that is down pre-tier. I couldn't read anything. Alright, so that one is done. Import pre-tier config. Okay, tab with training comma all single quote false semi-true semi-true. Okay, and package JSON main MJS. Okay, so that's done. Profile ideal buyer, blah blah blah, all of that. Okay. So if I restart, hold up, restart TS. Where's the TypeScript thing? Okay, let me try again. So if I go to API and I do like that, still doesn't work. Oh, it's because I need to restart pre-tier, I think. All right, and I just remembered something. Yeah, like why is it importing from .js files? Well, whatever, I don't care. Though it is definitely really weird. But anyway, whatever. The main thing is that it works, and I don't care how it works. Okay, now more questions. What about context? 10% already used, okay. So UI designer essentially asking me for Impress, Foundry, or Atelier. I need to pick a direction. Oh, oh wait, this is one question, right? And brand questions. Oh my god. It's hard to think and it's asking me such complicated questions. Whatever. Let's restart the Visual Studio Code because I want to see if it actually fixed the problem or not. Let's go to API src app. Okay, TypeScript is loading. Maybe I didn't have pre-tier enabled. Pre-tier. I think I spelled it right. Yeah, controls whether pre-tier is enabled and not reload required. Okay, so I don't understand. What does it want? Like, why doesn't work? Okay, audience tone. Okay, let's go. So I have C variants, right? A is sharp and operator. Think linear pitch. Warm and founder friendly. Think Notion Tally. Or editorial and confident. Stripe press versus sell marketing. Actually, I like the first one. 1A. Second, brand color is low. Anything locked in a hex, a log, an existing brand kit. If nothing, I'll pick. Nothing, you pick. Third, light, dark, default, light, darkest system. System default. Fourth, density, comfortable, generous, padding, or tight. Data dense. Comfortable. Alright, and direction. So we have three directions: ink press, editorial modernism, and magazine grade workspace where typography carries the system. Okay, direction. So I have to pick one, right? It's really hard to understand. So steel with bone, hazard, orange. I actually like that. Paper with ink. No, definitely not. Cream with deep navy. No. Direction foundry. Foundry. I guess we picked one. What does the manual format document with prettier do? Oh, it's actually a good thing. So format document with prettier. Actually works. That confirms it. Enter format on safe isn't enabled. It's actually enabled, my man. I think it is enabled. Okay, maybe it's not. Oh, format on safe. Huh. Okay, editor format and save. Oh wow. That was the issue. Okay, can I roll back these changes? Preview, that one, that one, that one. And what do you want? Okay, can I roll back? Move to trash. Restore. Move to trash. Restore. Restore. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work actually. Because I'm pretty sure that recent version of Visual Studio Code is actually has Node 24 and therefore it should work. Okay, let's open the app. So if I do, okay, let's let the TypeScript load. I'm kind of curious actually if it's gonna work in that. Okay, so it works. The problem was that I didn't have format and save enabled. Alright, now that I have it enabled, let's finish what we started. So that one is working. Let's take a second, close. Okay. It's taking a lot of time actually. And I want to see for the next user story what points can be optimized. Because currently, yeah, I think I would have to implement one more user story and then I will have to make a decision. And it is currently, by the way, it is currently preparing the design of components, of pages and stuff like that. But the main thing is that it should produce an HTML that uses Tailwind via CDN. And I want to see whether I'll be able to actually like anything that it produces. But nonetheless, if it doesn't finish in 20 minutes, I'll have to cap there because it's gonna be 2 hours since I started. Wait, it didn't ask me for wireframes approval, then why? Where are the variants? It should have produced the variants that I can pick from. Okay, well, whatever. Actually, I want to play some music. It's getting really boring because AI is taking ages. Taking ages to finish. What is doing? Oh shit. Okay, can I set stickies to be always like on top? I can't. How do I make a sticky stay always on top of all the files? On the Mac, with Sticky's app, how do I make it always stay on top of any other program? Give me a concise answer. Sticky's, Sticky's, Sticky's app, Sticky's app on the Mac with Sticky's app. How do I make it always stay on top of any other platform program? Give me a concise answer. Already 15% of the context wasted. Oh, it's like one file. Nice. So I need option. Oh, it actually worked. So I need. This is weird. But it actually worked. Oh, float on top. Window float on top. Okay. This is really stupid. Because I was looking for other words. Okay, so I drafted a plan. Wow, nice. 15 minutes left. Kind of curious if it will be able to nail down everything within 15 minutes. I mean, the implementation part gotta be much faster than the planning part. Actually, I just remembered one thing. I'm not sure, like, what is eating? I think that's obvious, I guess. Anyway, so what I need is a link to Tamo. I want to find one thing. Nice. Okay, design docs. So I also will need a skill to clear everything created from the previous run. Okay, so but nonetheless, I'll add here dogs. Dogs. I don't need design. Oh, actually, dogs design folder. Then dogs wireframes. Docs architecture architecture.md design.md and requirements. Okay, let's see. Okay, so those I ignored now, and the only things that have changed are is code. All right, that's good. I'm curious if it will be able to actually test anything, but because I'm currently on the latest version of Next Next.js specifically, it should be like flying. It would be it would be really nice to have to run another chat in parallel. You deleted settings router for some reason. That's interesting. But I'm not gonna question that. Don't care. And that's, by the way, we are running currently on Cloud Code Max. So it's gotta be the smartest Claude can do. So let's see what it can do. I mean, it is just a simple task. Well, at least to me, just adding some fields and onboarding, some fields to the settings page and onboarding. Like, how hard can it be? So I'm not sure if it is not gonna be able to accomplish that task. Then I don't even know. And I'm also not sure if backend. Yeah, I see. I actually got my answer. I see that it has the last step as curl smoke, so that's good. But that means also that I would have to give a permission to do a lot of curl requests, which I don't like. So migration, the app needs database URL. Let me check if either exists. They do exist. They do exist. Okay, so it started API. I can see one shell is running. I'm not sure why it's called a shell. It's more like a background job. Okay. Oh wow. Backend finished. First try. That's cool. Oh wow, there's a lot of files changed already. And it deleted user settings service. So I don't really care, but I'm just curious. So it did it. Oh, it created onboarding service. Okay. But what about like user settings page, my man? And I guess review should run after every like after developer, after front end. Server existing web app structure. Okay. So front end is running. Let's see what it's gonna come up with. Oh, in UI, what do I have already? Oh, so they are actually all implemented. I didn't know that because I didn't check any code base, but I didn't know that it implemented the entire. Well, some of the components, right? They're coming from. Where are they coming from? Shouldn't they be like base UI? This is weird. It's not using base UI. Whatever, I don't care. I think I'll also need a review for code maintainability. Yeah. Code maintainability review. Yeah, I'll need that for sure. Because I see some patterns, like, I'm not sure about it. And also, it doesn't look right. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here because that was supposed to be line 7, I guess. Anyway, doesn't look right to me. At least it's using hook form, so that's already good. So I guess I'll actually have to code review some of those files, because I just remembered that in Claude, in rules, my back and front end rules, which you cannot see, but they are actually empty. Security is also empty. I'm not even sure why would I need it. But anyway. Yeah, 3 minutes left. And it is still working on shared form components. Interesting. So, in other words, I'm not sure when I started, but I'm pretty sure more than half an hour ago. So if that's developing one thing, which is just onboarding form is going to take like an hour, then I definitely need to speed up everything somehow, because that is just unacceptable. Develop aiding onboarding to the application within an hour is unacceptable. If I said something like that like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, people would have laughed at me. But nowadays, aiding onboarding form within an hour is considered slow. Well, things are changing. It's more about who has nowadays. It's more about who has um, better skills, better prompts, and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about soft skills or anything like that. I'm talking about AI skills. So, all right, half a minute left. I guess I'll stay for a little bit longer to see front end finish, but it's kind of slow. And I mean, that's fine, because I'm also using the smartest model, which takes longer time to analyze things and come up with a solution. But the solution is prone to be flawless, flawless without any flaws, essentially. Yeah, I already don't like that it is using Next.js middleware. I know that if you're oh shit. I know that if you're using Next.js middleware, you will face a lot of issues later. Oh, it's called proxy, I think, and there is nothing like that. That's interesting. But here's the middleware file. What the hell? I was just searching for it and wasn't able to find it. Yeah, like this is a nightmare. No. Nah. And I need also this slab skill. Because those comments mean nothing, right? All these authentications should go from the middleware level to page level. I don't wanna, like, imagine I have two agents running in parallel. Then I won't be able to run them in parallel, because one might override the changes for another if they both are right into a middleware. And yeah, I could move those things into a separate file, but then at some point it's gonna break. And those things are definitely need to be done with the middleware. Like if you have with user, with cast, why would you need anything else at this point? You see it says with user. So that means inside of it gets a recession, otherwise redirect to roots login. By the way, roots should always be used and updated. That's one more thing I want to add. And maybe that's what I'll do next time is instead of just sitting and waiting for AI to finish, I'll actually be reviewing its code as it goes. Wait, middleware got deleted. What happened? Ah, it's because it's called proxy, I said it. Yeah, I remember it's called proxy now. So I just replaced it. And I guess it just created it because it's green, which means it was created. Right? And that's not what I need. Like, I don't think proxy is needed at all. Fetch onboarding. What does it mean, fetch onboarding? And that's also get server API client. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's also one more thing in later.md is that I wanna don't do any server side requests besides middlewares. Server side requests in web besides middlewares. Every fetch should happen on on the client side. Come on, client side. Okay. So that's one issue. Well, one of them. And then the rest I'll just check. And add more rules for it to follow. And ensure there are no problems. Well, I'll be just reviewing things as I go. Just to avoid seeing anything that I don't like. Data.js. Why is it called data.js? Oh, it's because it is doing fetches. Well, that's acceptable to me. As long as it is not happening on the backend side. Incoming. Yeah, and that's available only on the backend side. And it's returning database. How does it know? Oh, it's because of the client? Okay. I forgot about it. Alright. 58 files already. So now it is verifying everything with I see that it's already on the final step of smoke testing with agent browser. So agent browser is a skill, what I already mentioned. What is running? pnpm dev and pnpm dev. Whatever. So I guess it's just running to, but it should also have like build, I think. Anyway, it's using agent browser skill, or well, CLI, I think, to test the acceptance criteria that is inside of the docs requirements. Right, so it is basically going against those acceptance criteria, testing that everything is finished, but it's not like in-depth testing, right? It's just testing the acceptance criteria that it works. That's pretty much it. All right, so yeah, I think I'll pause there because it's getting harder and harder to breathe. But nonetheless, what I'll do is I'll let it finish. Once it's finished, I'll make sure that I review every single file, but I'm not gonna do an in-depth review. I'm going to skim through these files and see whether there's any anti patterns that I would like to avoid. And if there are, then I would add them to the rules. Otherwise, that's fine. That's fine with me. Alright, so pause there. thanks everyone for joining. I mean, there were one person. And I'll see you on Tuesday, I guess. If I feel better, I'll be streaming on Tuesday.